My stepson surprised me in a way I never anticipated. My astonishment, a genuine tale of betrayal. At the age of 38, as I gazed into the mirror, a singular sense of pride welled up within me. Time had treated me well. I appeared youthful and appealing, a result of diligent skincare, consistent workouts, and a commitment to a healthy lifestyle. Michael frequently reminded me of my beauty, yet the demands of his profession often made me overlook those affirmations. The morning unfolded in silence as Michael departed for work, leaving the house enveloped in tranquility. In these serene moments, I find a profound joy in simply being myself. I resolved to take a shower. Warm water envelops you in tranquility, and a touch of self-care has always been my remedy for feeling rejuvenated. In the solitude of the bathroom, I adorned my face with a mask before stepping into the cascading embrace of the shower. I endeavored to empty my thoughts as the water enveloped me in its warmth. After stepping out of the shower, I slipped into my red underwear. Red has always held a special place in my heart. It forged within me a strength and a fervor. I gazed into the bathroom mirror, peeling away the mask from my face as I gently dried my hair with a towel. As I gazed upon my reflection, a thought crossed my mind. Michael would never have envisioned me in this light. Be sure to subscribe to my channel for more captivating true stories. This narrative promises to be truly captivating, so be sure to engage with the entire video. At that moment, Logan's return had completely slipped my mind. Michael's son had returned after facing some difficulties, yet I still found myself unaccustomed to his presence. Michael and I often found ourselves in solitude, and in that quiet existence, I sometimes overlooked his presence. My mind was wandering elsewhere when I suddenly heard the door swing open with haste. Logan. I nearly let out a scream. Logan stood at the door, deliberately avoiding her gaze as he pondered the unfolding situation. "Hello, Rachel." "I apologize. The door was left ajar. I intended to indulge in a refreshing shower." His voice trembled with fragility, and a sense of regret washed over him. As our eyes met, a weight settled upon me, marking the beginning of that moment. The towel had slipped beyond my grasp just as my hand extended toward it. Logan's face flushed, a deep crimson, and an unfamiliar current surged through my entire being. "Hey, Logan. Have you ever considered knocking first?" Though my hands trembled, I endeavored to maintain a calmness in my voice. "Indeed." He swiftly closed the door and murmured an apology. Yet, what has transpired is now a matter of the past. In mere moments, those fleeting seconds dismantled my routine and upended my entire existence. Surely, there has been some sort of error. Hasn't there yet? What was it that made my heart race so swiftly in an unusual manner? Witnessing Logan gaze at me in that fashion stirred a sense of excitement within me. Despite the discomfort it brought me, I found myself drawn to it in a peculiar way. As I attempted to find tranquility and shut the door behind me, my thoughts incessantly drifted back to that fleeting moment after my shower, when Logan's gaze had met mine. I had never envisioned myself in such a state of openness and vulnerability. How peculiar! A swirl of shame and happiness enveloped me simultaneously. For a time, I found myself utterly bewildered, unsure of the unfolding events around me. As I approached the mirror, a wave of confusion enveloped me. I gazed upon my own reflection. The crimson fabric of my underwear radiated against my skin, casting a vibrant hue that caught the light. Regardless of my age, my physique retained a youthful and alluring quality. At the age of 38, I found myself reflecting on the journey thus far, and I realized that these years had indeed treated me well. It transcended mere physicality. My hair, eyes, and skin retained a vibrant freshness, as if untouched by time. Visiting the gym transformed my muscles into pillars of strength, while my skin became a canvas of softness, smoothness, and perfection. Witnessing that fortified my spirit. Conversely, A peculiar notion crossed my mind regarding the vigilant gaze in Logan's eyes as I observed my own reflection. I found myself curious about his true perception of me. What were his thoughts? How thoroughly did he observe me? I endeavored to quell these persistent thoughts, yet they remained unyielding. Though my gaze was fixed upon my own reflection, a sense of pride swelled within me at the sight of my appearance. I felt utterly adorable in my red underwear. The memory surfaced instantly, recalling how Logan would occasionally emerge from the shower clad in nothing but a towel. In an instant, my eyes flickered. Logan had always possessed an undeniable charm. His physique was truly remarkable. Yet, upon witnessing him in that state, a myriad of other emotions began to stir within me. As I pondered our connection, emotions began to stir within me for him. What had once seemed like a mere attraction in my thoughts now stirred an unfamiliar sensation within my body. As I cast my gaze after him once more, I found myself holding my breath, caught in the moment before I even realized it. In that moment, the voice of guilt echoed within me. Michael. Indeed, he played a significant role in my life as well. At the age of 47, he had established himself as a prosperous businessman. He was consumed by his relentless work, leaving no room for me in his life. At times, I found myself grappling with uncertainties regarding my marriage to Michael. Were we truly content? Or had I merely grown accustomed to solitude, I became accustomed to him? Michael appeared to have lost interest in me recently. After a lengthy business trip, it seemed as though he had completely disregarded my feelings. After my attempts to mend it, the warmth had vanished. Michael was utterly consumed by his work, leaving little room for my presence. It was merely another evening, indistinguishable from countless others. Michael graced us with his presence for dinner after a long day at work. No additional alterations were made. Then he uttered that singular remark. He informed me that we would be attending a party tomorrow. In that instant, it felt like the perfect distraction from the worries that had plagued my mind for days on end. Indeed, a gathering presents a wonderful opportunity to spend time with Michael. When I first learned of the party a few weeks back, I envisioned an evening spent alone with Michael, capturing his attention and igniting a spark of excitement within him. Yet, with the arrival of Logan, everything changed. He mentioned that he has a flight scheduled for tomorrow evening. I am off to visit a friend. You both are heading to the party on your own. I will have already embarked on my journey by the time you return. This is the essence of Logan, unwavering and constant. It appeared effortless for him to engage in such actions, especially when I reflected on his youthful exuberance and the sense of freedom that radiated from him. Michael, in contrast, was preoccupied with his work, leaving little room for such concerns. I attended the party, yet Michael's gaze seemed distant. As it has for several weeks now, I remained determined to demonstrate my affection for him. I put on a nicer outfit. To capture Michael's attention, I slipped into a form-fitting red dress, meticulously applied my makeup, and styled my hair with utmost care. Following the party, events took an unexpected turn. However, that night with Michael wasn't mine alone. Regardless of how well I presented myself, he cited a business meeting as the reason for leaving me at home. He planned to venture out with his friends. I found myself alone once more. Alone. Are you? I crumbled within. That night, I found it difficult to articulate the depths of my sorrow. I lost the opportunity to share moments with him that I had anticipated. Upon returning home, I found myself alone and under the influence of alcohol. I felt pain as I disrobed in the solitude of the upstairs. The singular detail that captured my attention was the delicate embrace of my black lace underwear. It felt peculiar, considering the hours I had devoted to preparing for an evening with Michael. My anger intensified. It was of no consequence what you donned or how you appeared. I felt a profound emptiness within me. That stirred a bit more anger within me. Yet, I was acutely aware that I needed to take action to navigate this night that left me feeling so shattered. I decided to head to the kitchen immediately, maybe a drink or a cigarette. I needed to organize my thoughts. A brief pause was all I required to regain my composure and gather my thoughts. I retrieved a beverage from the fridge and poured it into a glass. After that, I reached for a pack of cigarettes and ignited one. The smoke left my throat weary and fatigued. It seemed as though time froze, leaving me ensnared in a moment that pressed heavily against my features this evening. At that precise moment, an odd occurrence unfolded. Upon hearing a footfall, my gaze instinctively darted toward the kitchen door. Logan. Logan found himself within the familiar confines of his home. Although I was unaware of his return or the reasons behind his presence, I found myself taken aback in that moment. The image of a serene evening alone with Michael consumed my thoughts. So the sight of Logan standing before me stirred an unsettling feeling within me. Initially, Logan contemplated departing, yet his friends swayed their decision. His flight was unexpectedly canceled, a scenario I had never even considered. At that moment, we found ourselves in the kitchen. Side by side, I found myself rooted in place, uncertain of my next move. Seeing Logan standing before me in this manner was truly unexpected. He discovered me in that moment, standing there clad in my black lace underwear, a sight I rarely present to the world. I inhaled deeply, averting my gaze from him, burdened by a sense of guilt. I said to Logan, "I'm sorry." Though my voice trembled as I spoke, "I had no idea you were present. Honestly, I never anticipated that encountering you here would feel so peculiar." I bowed my head, making a conscious effort to avoid their gaze. A whirlwind of emotions swirled within me, elusive and difficult to articulate. Yet, Logan approached with a serene demeanor, his expression betraying no hint of surprise. Something seemed to shift in his gaze. After a brief moment of silence, he turned to Rachel and inquired, "Why are you crying? What has stirred such anger within you?" There was an unusual quality to his voice. This moment resonated with a deeper sense of authenticity and feeling. His gaze seemed to penetrate the very depths of my soul. Her smile blossomed as he approached her. Yet, there was something beyond a mere smile gracing his features. It resided there, within the depths of his gaze. My thoughts spiraled in disarray, for I understood he was not merely a fleeting distraction. It was not merely inflicting pain upon my body. It was deeply affecting my emotions as well. A whirlwind of emotions swirled through my mind all at once. Logan's gaze was so genuine that I found myself embracing the significance it held for me. Instead, I moved closer to him with each word he uttered. My confusion deepened. I gently pushed the door ajar and lifted my gaze. His expression revealed a profound sincerity. His gaze conveyed a sense of closeness that transcended mere physical proximity, enveloping me in an emotional intimacy. For a fleeting moment, I sensed the depth of my brokenness, the frustration swelling within me at the thought of the night I had envisioned slipping away from my grasp. Suddenly, tears streamed down my cheeks. Logan approached Rachel, his voice gentle as he inquired, "Are you aware of just how beautiful you are?" His words astonished me, evoking a strange sense of comfort amidst the surprise. "Prepare yourself. Michael has been unable to devote the necessary attention to you due to his work commitments. He persevered. How about you? You are one of a kind, radiant in your own way, and this evening is rightfully yours." Though his words offered a semblance of comfort, a lingering unease still clung to me. The proximity to him stirred a whirlwind of emotions within me, rendering everything else in my life irrevocably altered, as if normalcy had slipped through my fingers. I found myself adrift in the depths of Logan's gaze. captivated by their profound intensity in that instant. My thoughts came to a standstill, and I cautiously advanced another step closer to him. As I approached Logan, he remained frozen in disbelief. Understanding my emotions proved challenging as I witnessed the shift in his gaze. In that moment, all events converged into a singular, chaotic instant. The turmoil within me intertwined with an undeniable yearning to press my lips against his. I yearned to be near him, to surrender to the moment, if only for a fleeting instant, in a sudden rush of impulse. I pressed my lips against Logan's. It caught me off guard, unfolding in an instant before I could brace myself. As my lips met his, I surrendered to the moment, closing my eyes, and in that instant, time appeared to stand still. In a fleeting moment, all thoughts vanished, consumed by the warmth enveloping me, the rapid thrum of my heart, and the tautness of his form. In that moment, I sensed Logan's anticipation, his silent plea for me to return the kiss. The warmth on my lips revealed the intensity of his response. As his hand glided gently toward my waist, the distance that once separated us vanished entirely. A whirlwind of intricate emotions surged within me, coalescing into an overwhelming wave of desire. Upon hearing his breath, I instinctively drew myself nearer to him. We rushed from the kitchen to the living room, our gazes locked in an unbroken connection. With each step, our bodies collided with the walls, and in that fervent moment, we embraced one another even more tightly. As Logan's hands glided over my body, we navigated through obstacles, eventually reaching the threshold of the living room door. There we were, sprawled on the couch in the living room, breathless and tangled in the aftermath, while Logan's pants lay abandoned in the kitchen, a silent testament to the moment we had just shared. My black lace underwear lay discarded on the floor. Though I recognized the peculiarity of the situation, I found myself adrift. Having lost all connection to my own identity, I inhaled deeply, allowing the air to fill my lungs, and then slowly opened my eyes to meet his gaze. The rapid descent into chaos was palpable. As the situation deteriorated, the first person caught sight of my expression and offered me a faint smile. The gaze in his eyes still revealed the depth of my impact on him. He inhaled deeply, fixed his gaze on me, and inquired, "What happened, Rachel?" What prompted us to take that action, I traced the direction of his gaze, feeling a mix of surprise and a hint of relief wash over me. I found myself compelled to speak, yet the words eluded me. I remarked, "It was merely an impulsive decision," and my gaze shifted toward him. I find myself in a state of uncertainty. However, it was merely my method of expressing my emotions. There seemed to be no alternative for how to pass the night. Logan spoke softly, his fingers weaving gently through my hair. "Should we truly maintain this distance?" he inquired. As his hands rested on my waist, the sensation of his fingers gliding over my body intensified with every passing second. As he gazed into my eyes, I found myself breathless. He inhaled deeply, gradually drawing nearer to me. He began to speak as though he were revealing his innermost thoughts. "Rachel, I had been deceived," he remarked. I was struggling immensely, but now I feel entirely transformed. Simultaneously, the genuine quality of his voice brought me a sense of comfort. As he took another step closer, I found myself captivated by the profound depths of his gaze. My heart resonates with the warmth of our connection. It's peculiar, the sensations that wash over me, yet I can distinctly sense your presence. Rachel, your proximity is palpable to me. In a fleeting moment, all my emotions converged, yet my heart raced with intensity. Everything felt peculiar and difficult to grasp in light of Logan's words. Yet there was something undeniably present in that moment. His approach was so deliberate that it felt as though he was closing the distance between us. Listening to my own thoughts transformed my emotions in an entirely novel manner. As I gazed into his eyes once more, I whispered, "Logan, I was alone. Once. I found myself in solitude. Yet now, the landscape of my life has transformed entirely. A sense of youthfulness envelops me, accompanied by a thrill of excitement. Yet I find myself adrift for the very first time." My voice trembled as I spoke. I sense that something is shifting in that instant. Articulating my emotions proved challenging, yet the sensations Logan evoked within me were undeniably genuine. At that moment, the door swung open. A voice echoed, "Rachel." Michael pushed the door open and stepped inside. Upon catching sight of us, he was taken aback, his eyes widening in disbelief. In that instant, all motion ceased. It appeared as though time had come to a standstill. We stood there, gazing into one another's eyes, uncertainty hanging in the air between us. Michael was intrigued by the dynamics unfolding between us, his visage flushed with a mix of disbelief and fury. He froze in place, suspending his breath for a fleeting moment. His eyes were filled with wonder. Then all hell broke loose. "What on earth is happening?" His voice carried a harsh edge, laced with fury as he spoke. In a heartbeat, chaos erupted. Michael's voice, filled with anger, resonated powerfully. The very walls of the house seemed to tremble. His eyes revealed a tumult of anger and sorrow. "What on earth is happening?" he inquired. Yet, shortly thereafter, it was no longer the inquiry that troubled him. His expression was a portrait of anger and bitterness, with trembling hands. He directed his gaze at Logan and pointed emphatically in his direction. "You must leave this place immediately," he urged her. "This house no longer holds a place for you. She is my wife. She is your mother. It was unwise to involve her in this matter. What on earth were you thinking? How is it possible for you both to be indifferent to my feelings?" Words eluded me. I was utterly astonished, though my eyes brimmed with tears. I held back the urge to cry in that moment. Michael cast the blame upon me, painting me as the architect of all that had gone awry. What was it that I intended to express? Could I truly confront the tempest of his anger? Why? Rachel. "What on earth have you done?" Michael pressed on. Undeterred, "What have I done to deserve this? How can anyone find peace with this situation?" They endured the profound loss of both their husband and son. You deceived me, your gaze unwavering as you spoke your falsehoods. Inside, I felt shattered, yet silence enveloped my lips. My eyes brimmed with tears. A deep sadness enveloped me, yet I found myself unable to utter a single word. Change seemed utterly impossible. I was aware of that. Michael then exclaimed, "Oh, come on, please. Depart. Your presence is no longer desired within these walls." We found ourselves being ushered out the door. I cast my gaze upon Logan. A silence enveloped us, yet an unspoken understanding lingered in the air, a shared recognition of our mutual confusion. As the clock struck its final moment, Logan declared, "It's time to go." I agreed, "Depart from this location immediately." As we stepped outside, the tears flowed endlessly. The pain was so profound that tears seemed an impossible release. Weighed down by the heavy burden of guilt I carried, it whirled within the confines of my mind. Uncertainty enveloped me, leaving me adrift without a destination or a plan. The passage of time had unfolded with astonishing swiftness. I acted impulsively, without a moment's thought. I found myself adrift in the chaos unfolding around me. Being with Logan was a torment, a constant reminder of the pain I had inflicted upon him. What led me to accomplish this, I murmured softly to myself, my face buried in my hands. As the tears flowed unabated, what was it that I conveyed to Michael? In what way did I deceive him with every step? The weight of regret deepened. I realized I was utterly lost, yet I clung to the hope that these emotions would eventually fade into the background. Although Logan departed, his absence sparked a flicker of hope within me, if only for a fleeting moment. Take action immediately. As I observed his departure, I reassured myself. This marks the beginning of a new chapter for me. I advance through time once again, though shrouded in darkness. Solitude offered a comforting embrace. As I paused for a moment, I inhaled deeply and sensed a surge of strength within me. I was determined to overcome this challenge. I would invariably navigate my way back to my true self. Once more, the cycle would commence. If you've journeyed this far, your investment in the tale is undeniable. Ensure you catch every detail of what is being shared. Be sure to share your thoughts on the story, follow the account, and enable notifications. I invite you to share your thoughts in the comments, as I'm genuinely eager to hear your perspective.